Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today is April 29th, 2021, and I was out here picking pears and thought I should do an update to show you the status and how the pears are looking this time of the year. So I have picked a few varieties here already. That's quite a few pears here. These are just amazing pears, guys. You got to grow them yourself if you've never had them. But they taste so much better than the ones you buy in the store. And I've given these to a few members of our family, and they can confirm that this is just delicious and they're so sweet and crunchy. So if you can grow them yourself, you would not regret it. So the varieties that I have here, this is the Jojiro. This is there. I only have one, but this is also a really good varieties that ripe early. So all three of these are Jojiro, Shinseki, and the Hosui. They all ripen up around late July to early August, and you can pretty much pick them towards the end of July and onward. So they're just so good, guys. So I highly recommend you grow some. So here are what I have picked so far. So let me show you the pear tree and then talk a little bit about them as I go along. So here, so I've already picked most of these Shinseki off. They were so many fruits on here that the branch started to kind of hang over, so I had to support them with the stick here. So there are just a few left right here. You see the difference in color. This is a little green, so when they ripen up, they change to sort of like a golden color. You see? It changed from green to more of a yellowish color, and that's when you know that they are ready to be picked. And they will also ripe to this stage right here where it's almost all yellow all across, and that is when it's the sweetest. And also the Hosui, the color gets a little kind of like yellowish, sand yellowish, and that's how you know that they are ready. So let me show you the ones that are not ready, and you can compare the color. So you see, this one here is still has a little greenish tone to it, and that's when you can tell that it's not yet ready to be picked. And side by side comparison, you see how it is a little bit of a I would say reddish, I guess. But yeah, so those are the difference. And this is the best time to pick them. Look at how beautiful this is. This variety is one of my favorite, Hosui. So I mentioned it many times. If you can grow only one out of these different varieties, like the 20th century, Hosui, Shinseki, Jojiro, Shinko, and then Olympic Giant. Those are all the ones that I have. I would grow the Hosui if that's the only one I get to pick. And then second to that, I would go with the Olympic Giant because they are enormous. Look, so I grafted this Olympic Giant right here. This is a graft, and that branch actually came from this tree right here. So here is the Olympic Giant. You see, this is a very low maintenance variety. They do ripen up a little later. You see they're still green, but the fruits are enormous. If the tree is fully grown, it can get much larger than this. So you see I have a few good fruits. This is the first year, as I mentioned before, but it's producing pretty well. And then on top of that, this tree, I grafted a Shinko. This is a Shinko. Look at that, I got two pears from the graft. Here's where the graft is, and the Shinko pear tree is that one over there. So let me show you the fruits. This one is actually loaded with pears, and Shinkos are later, so I usually get them around late September is when I harvest them, or early October. So here, lots and lots of fruit. See, all up and down the tree, all the way down to the ground. So that's the reason I love these Asian pear trees. They're heavy producer, and you get fruit. I mean, just a few feet off of the ground, there's already fruits right here. Look at that. Very nice and beautiful. And because of the treatment that I did this year, I did not get any of those rust from last year. Last year I lost all of these pears from rust because I didn't treat it in time, and then the rust just killed everything. So make sure you go to the earlier videos and see the process that I've done and what I use to treat them. And again, here I'm going to show you the apple graph from the last update. This is an apple. I think this might be a red delicious that I cut off my apple tree, and then I grafted. I used the bud graft method. And then on this tree I also have a Korean giant grafted on somewhere. Oh, here it is. Here's a tag. So there it is. Here's a Korean giant graft. Okay, so this branch, it's not a really good graft, but it took. So here it is right here. I plan to do more later in the year. So see, lots of fruits. Okay, so let me show you the apple tree. Okay, so here is the apple tree that I took that bud to graft onto that pear tree. Look at these apples, man, they look so good right now. Again, homegrown apples are just amazing. They taste much better than in the store, because at home you can harvest them at the right exact time when they're at their best tasting. So that is the reason you growing your own fruits is just so much better when it comes to flavor. And then we have this other Shinko pear. Look at this, guys. There's just so many fruits on here that the branch is having trouble supporting all of the weight. You see? So I have to do a zip tie here and then tie this to this branch to help support all of these fruits right here. I shouldn't have allowed this many fruits on here, but I was very excited about getting fruits this year because I lost them all last year. That's why I left them. You see, the more fruits they have on a small tree, the smaller they are. So because the tree doesn't have the energy to support all of these fruits, so then they have to disperse all the energy across all the fruits. So that's why the fruits are small. So you have a small tree. This one is a very small tree. So try to either not allow them to fruit too many, or just pick off all the fruits. Don't let them fruit at all until they're at the right stage or the right size tree that you want, and then allow them to fruit. That way they can, you know, be nice and big and produce good, nice size fruits. But look at that. That is a extremely heavy producing variety for such a small tree. Okay, and here is my persimmon. It's doing great. Not as many fruits as I was expecting. A lot of it dropped during the crazy rain that we had. We had just so much rain. It almost like it flooded every day. So it dropped all of the fruits. Not all, but most of them. But I still get like around maybe 20 to 30 fruits on here, which I'm still very happy about. And the tree looks amazing right now. Okay, so one more look at all of the trees. This is the Olympic giant. Look at that, guys. It's so beautiful. They get enormous too. These are the ones you probably find in the grocery store, because the one reason is they store really well, and they are enormous, which is a very big attraction for a lot of people. They get it. See, and because the skin is thicker, they're not easily bruised, so they're good for shipping and packaging and lasting for a very long time, because you can put this in a box and 2-3 months later, if you have it in your fridge or somewhere in a cool place, they still are good. So that's the reason why these are highly sought after. And look at that, the 2 Shinko grafts. And this is the 6-in-1 pear tree. I have so many grafts on here, And I highly recommend that you graft some onto your tree. That way you have multiple varieties. They just look gorgeous in the spring, but also look beautiful when they start to fruit, because the fruit all look different. You see, that's kind of like a reddish color. This is a green color. And here's my Olympic giant, which is gonna have a huge fruit compared to the rest. Here's another one that I grafted. So when you take a graft off of a mature plant or mature tree, they will fruit at the same time as the rest. So you get fruit almost the same year. And then there's the Shinko over there. Lots of fruits all over the place. Just added the persimmon. And then my apple tree, looking beautiful. They get more and more fruits every year. And then lastly, the last Shinko there. So yeah, this is very exciting. I hope you enjoy the update, because getting fruit is always the best time of the year for me. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.